For your consideration, Eugène Ionesco's The BALD Soprano.
It's
not
that
way.
It's
over
the
here. It's not that way. It's over 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 here. There. It's 9 o'clock. We've drunk the soup and eaten the fish and chips and the English salad. The children have all drunk English water. We've eaten well this evening. That is because we live in the suburbs of London and because our name is Smith. Potatoes are very good fried and fat. The salad oil was not rancid. The oil from the grocer at the corner is better than the oil from the grocer at the bottom of the street. However, I prefer not to tell them their oil is bad. However, the oil from the grocer at the corner is still the best. Mary did the potatoes well this evening. The last time she did not do them well. I do not like them well done. The fish was fresh. It made my mouth water. I had 2 helpings. No, 3 helpings. That made me go to the WC. You also had 3 helpings. However, the 3rd time you took less than the first 2 times. Well, as for me, I took a great deal more. I eat better than you this evening. Why is that? It is not appetite you lack. But perhaps the soup was a bit too salt. It was saltier than you. It had too many leeks and not enough onions. I regret I did not advise Mary to add some aniseed stars. The next time, I'll know better. Yogurt is good for the stomach, the kidneys, the appendicitis, and the apotheosis. It was Dr. Mackenzie King who told me that. He takes care of our neighbors, the Johns. He is a good doctor. One can trust him. He never prescribes any medication unless he's tried it on himself first. Before operating on Parker, he had his own liver operated on first, although he was not in the least bit ill.
But how does it happen that the doctor pulled through while Parker died?
Well, the operation was successful in the doctor's case and not in Parker's.
Then Mackenzie is not a good doctor. The operation should have succeeded with both of them, or else both should have died.
Why?
A conscientious doctor must die with his patient if they can't get well together. The captain of a ship goes down with his ship into the briny deep. He does not survive alone.
One cannot compare a patient with a ship.
Why not? A ship has diseases too. Moreover, your doctor is as hale as a ship. That's why he should have perished at the same time as his patient, like the captain and his ship.
I had not thought of this. Perhaps you are right. And then what conclusion do you draw from this?
All doctors are quacks. All patients too. Only the Royal Navy is honest in England.
But not sailors.
Naturally.
Now, here's a thing I don't understand. In the newspaper, they always give the age of deceased persons, but never the age of the newly born. That doesn't make sense.
I had not thought of this.
It says here that Bobby Watson died.
Oh goodness, the poor man, when did he die?
Why do you pretend to be astonished? You know very well that he's been dead these past 2 years. Surely you remember we attended his funeral a year and a half ago.
Oh yes, of course I remembered immediately, but then why were you so surprised to find it in the paper?
It wasn't in the paper. It's been 3 years since his death was announced. I remembered it through an association of ideas.
What a pity. He was so well preserved.
He was the handsomest corpse in Great Britain. He didn't look his age. Poor Bobby. He'd been dead for 4 years and he was still warm. A veritable living corpse. And how cheerful he was.
Poor Bobby.
Oh, which poor Bobby do you mean?
Why, I mean his wife. She is called Bobby too, Bobby Watson. Since they both were called Bobby, you could never tell one from the other. It was only after his death that you could really tell one from the other, but even then they confused her with the deceased and offered their condolences to him. Do you know her?
I only met her once by chance at Bobby's burial.
I've never seen her. Is she pretty?
She has regular features, and yet one cannot say that she is pretty. She's too big and stout. Her features are not regular, yet still one can say that she is very pretty. She's a little too small and too thin. She's a voice teacher.
And when do they plan to be married, those two?
Next spring at the latest.
We shall have to attend the wedding, I suppose.
We shall have to get them a wedding present. I wonder what.
What about one of the 7 silver salvers that were given to us for our wedding but were never of any use to us? How sad to be left a widow so young.
Fortunately, they had no children.
But that was all they needed, children. The poor woman, how could she have managed?
She's still young. She might very well remarry. She looks so well in mourning.
But then who would take care of the children? You know very well that they have a son and a daughter. What are their names?
Bobby and Bobby like their parents. Bobby Watson's uncle, old Bobby Watson, is a rich man and very fond of the boy. He might very well pay for Bobby's education.
That would be proper. And old Bobby Watson, Bobby Watson's aunt, might in her turn pay for the education of Bobby Watson, Bobby Watson's daughter. That way Bobby could remarry. Has she anyone in mind?
Yes, a cousin of Bobby Watson's.
Who, Bobby Watson?
Which Bobby Watson do you mean?
Why, Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's other uncle.
No, it's not that one, it's someone else. It's Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's aunt.
Do you mean Bobby Watson, the commercial traveler?
All the Bobby Watsons are commercial travelers.
Oh, what a difficult trade. However, they do well at it.
Yes, when there's no competition.
And when is there no competition?
On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays.
Oh, 3 days a week. And what does Bobby do on those days?
He rests. He sleeps.
But why wouldn't he work those days if there's no competition?
I don't know everything. I can't answer all your idiotic questions.
Oh! Are you trying to humiliate me?
You know very well that I'm not.
Men are all alike. You sit there all day long, a cigarette in your mouth, or else you powder your nose or root your lips 50 times a day, or else you drink like a fish.
But what would you say if you saw men acting like women do? Smoking all day long, powdering, rouging their lips, drinking whiskey.
It makes no difference to me. But if you are only saying this to annoy me, I do not care for that kind of joking. You know that very well.
Oh, my little ducky doddles! What a little spitfire you are. You know that I only said it as a joke. What a ridiculous pair of lovers we are. Come, let us put out the lights and go. Bye-bye.
I'm the maid. I've spent a very pleasant afternoon. I've been to the cinema with a man, and I've seen a film with some woman. After the cinema, we went to drink some brandy and milk, and then read the newspaper.
I hope you've spent a pleasant afternoon, that you went to the cinema with some man and drank some brandy and milk.
And the newspaper.
Mr. and Mrs. Martin, your guests, are at the door. They were waiting for you. They didn't dare come in by themselves. They were supposed to have dinner with you this evening.
Oh, yes, we were expecting them, and we were hungry. Since they decided not to put in an appearance, we decided to start dinner without them. We hadn't eaten all day. You should not have gone out.
But it was you who gave me permission.
We didn't do it on purpose.
I bought me a chamber pot.
Mary, please ask Mr. and Mrs. Martin to step in. We will get dressed quickly.
Why have you come so late? You are not very polite. People should be punctual. Do you understand?
Excuse me, madam, but it seems to me, unless I'm mistaken, that I've seen you somewhere before.
I too, sir. It seems to me that I've met you somewhere before.
Was it perchance in the city of Manchester that I caught a glimpse of you, madam?
Oh, it is certainly possible. I am originally from the city of Manchester, but I do not have a good memory. I cannot say whether it was there that I caught a glimpse of you or not.
Good heavens, isn't that curious? I too am originally from the city of Manchester.
That is curious.
Isn't that curious? Only I left the city about 5 weeks ago, madam.
That is curious. And what a bizarre coincidence. I too left the city of Manchester about 5 weeks ago.
I took the 8:30 morning train, which arrived in London at 4:45.
How curious that is. I took the same train, sir. I too.
Good heavens, how curious. Perhaps we did see each other on the train, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it, dear sir.
I travelled second class, dear lady. There is no second class in England, but I always travel second class.
How curious that is. Good heavens, how bizarre, and what a coincidence. I too travelled second class, dear sir.
Isn't that curious? And how bizarre. Perhaps we didn't meet in second class, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible, but I do not recall it, dear sir.
My seat was in coach 8, compartment 6, dear lady.
How curious that is, and what a bizarre coincidence. I too sat in coach 8, compartment 6, dear sir.
Good heavens, what a coincidence. Perhaps we didn't meet in compartment 6, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it, dear sir.
To tell the truth, dear lady, I do not remember it either. But it is possible that we came to know each other on that occasion. And, as I think of it, it seems to me to be even very likely.
Oh, yes. Truly, of course, truly, sir.
Good heavens, how curious. I had seat number 3 next to the window, dear lady.
How curious that is. I had seat number 6 next to the window across from you, dear sir.
How bizarre. How curious. We were then seated facing each other, and it is there that we must have seen each other.
It is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it, dear sir.
To tell the truth, dear lady. Dear lady, I do not remember it either, but it is possible that we came to know each other on that occasion.
It is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it.
Dear lady, were you not the one who asked me to place a suitcase in the luggage compartment and who thanked me and gave me permission to smoke?
But of course, that must have been I, sir. How curious it is. How curious it is, and what a bizarre coincidence.
How curious it is. How bizarre, and what a coincidence. And well then, well then. Well then. Perhaps it was at that moment that we came to know each other, dear lady.
It is certainly possible. But I do not recall it.
Nor do I. Since coming to London, I have resided on Bromfield Street, dear lady.
How curious that is. I too, since coming to London, have resided on Bromfield Street, dear sir.
How curious it is. And well then, well then, well then. Perhaps we did meet on Bromfield Street, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it, dear sir.
I reside at number 19, dear lady.
How curious that is. I too reside at number 19, dear sir.
Well then, well then, well then. How curious it is. Perhaps we did see each other in that house, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible, but I do not at all recall it, dear sir.
My flat is on the 5th floor, number 8, dear lady.
How curious that is. Good heavens, what a coincidence. I too live on the 5th floor, number 8, dear sir.
How curious it is. How curious it is. How curious it is. And what a coincidence. In my bedroom, there is a bed with a green eiderdown. This room, with the bed and the green eiderdown, resides at the end of the corridor between the WC and the bookcase, dear lady.
How curious that is. I too have a bedroom with a green eiderdown. It is at the end of the hall between the WC and the bookcase, dear sir.
How bizarre, curious, strange. We then sleep in the same room and sleep in the same bed, and it is there that we must have met, dear lady.
Oh, it is certainly possible. And perhaps even last night. But I do not recall it.
I have a little girl. My daughter. She lives with me, dear lady. She's 2 years old. She has a white eye and a red eye. She's very pretty, dear lady. Her name is Alice.
How curious that is. I too have a daughter. She has one white eye and one red eye. She's very pretty. Her name is Alice too, dear sir.
Perhaps they are the same.
It is certainly possible.
Then, dear lady, there can be no doubt about it. We have seen each other before, and you are my own wife. Elizabeth, I have found you again.
Donald, it's you, darling.
Donald and Elizabeth are now too happy to be able to hear me. I can therefore let you in on a secret. Elizabeth is not Elizabeth. Donald is not Donald. And here is the proof. The child which Donald spoke of is not Elizabeth's daughter. They're not the same person. Donald's daughter has one white eye and one red eye, like Elizabeth's daughter, whereas Donald's child has a white right eye and a red left eye. Elizabeth's daughter has a red right eye and a white left eye. Thus, all of Donald's system of deduction collapses when it comes up against this last obstacle, which destroys his whole theory. In spite of the extraordinary coincidences which seem to be definitive proofs, Donald and Elizabeth, not being the parents of the same child, are not Donald and Elizabeth. It is in vain that he thinks he is Donald. It is in vain that she thinks she is Elizabeth. She believes in vain that he is Donald. He believes in vain that she is Elizabeth. They are sadly deceived. But who is the true Donald? Who is the true Elizabeth? Who has any interest in prolonging this confusion? I don't know. Let's not try to know. Let's leave things as they are. My real name is Sherlock Holmes.
Darling, let us not forget all that has not passed between us. And now that we have found each other again, let us not lose each other any more.
Yes, darling.
Good evening, dear friends. Please forgive us for having made you wait so long. We thought we should extend to you the courtesy to which you are entitled, and as soon as we found you decided to visit us without any prior notice, we decided to dress for the occasion.
We've had nothing to eat all day, and we've been waiting 4 whole hours for you. Why have you come so late?
No, but definitely.
We all have colds.
Nevertheless, it's not chilly.
There's no draft.
Oh no, fortunately.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Are you not feeling well?
No, he's wet his pants.
Oh, sir. At your age, you shouldn't.
The heart is ageless.
That's true.
So they say.
They also say the opposite.
The truth lies somewhere between the two.
That's true.
Since you travel so often, you must have many interesting things to tell us.
Tell them, my dear, what you have seen today.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they would ever believe me.
We are not going to question your sincerity.
You will offend us if you think that.
You will offend them if you think that.
Very well. Well, The other day I saw something extraordinary, something really incredible.
Tell us quickly then.
Oh, this is going to be amusing.
At last.
Well, I went out to buy some vegetables, which are getting to be drearer and drearer.
Where is it all going to end?
You shouldn't interrupt, my dear. It's very rude.
And as I was going along, I came across a man, properly dressed, about 50 years old, who, and not even that,
Who what?
Who what?
Don't interrupt, my dear. You're disgusting.
My dear, it was you who interrupted first, you bore.
Shh! What was this man doing?
well, I'm sure you'll never believe me, but he was down on one knee, and he was bent over.
Oh!
Yes, bent over.
Not possible.
Yes, he was bent over, and I went closer to see what he was doing.
And?
He was tying his shoelace, which had come undone.
Fantastic! If someone else had told me this, I'd not believe it.
Why not? One hears more extraordinary things every day. For instance, in the underground, I saw a man sitting, reading the newspaper.
What a character!
Perhaps it was the same man. Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be somebody there. I'll go and see. Nobody.
I will tell you another.
Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be somebody there. I'll go and see. No one.
You were about to tell us another story.
Oh, right.
Goodness, someone is ringing.
I'm not going to answer the door again.
Yes, but there must be someone there.
The first time there was no one, the second time no one. Why would there be anyone there now?
Because someone has rung.
That's no reason.
What? When one hears the doorbell ringing, that means someone is at the door ringing to have the door opened.
That's not always true. You have just seen otherwise.
In those cases, yes.
As for me, when I go to visit someone, I ring in order to be admitted. I think that everyone does the same thing, and that each time there is a ring, there must be someone there.
That is true in theory, but in reality things happen differently. You have just seen otherwise.
Your wife is right.
Oh, you women. Always standing up for each other.
You cannot say that I am obstinate, but you will see that there is no one there. You see no one there. Oh, these men who always think they're right but are always wrong.
Goodness, someone is ringing. There must be someone there.
Don't send me to open the door again. You've seen that it is useless. Experience teaches us that when the doorbell rings, there is never anyone there.
That's
never.
not entirely accurate.
In fact, it's false. When one hears the doorbell ring, it is because there is someone there.
No,
Yes,
he won't admit he's wrong.
My husband is very obstinate too.
there's someone there.
No,
It's not impossible.
I tell you no. In any case, if you wish to look, go and look yourself.
I'll go. Oh, how do you do? It's the fire team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Mrs. Smith. You appear to be angry.
Oh!
You see, it's because my wife is a little chagrined at having been proved wrong.
There has been an argument between Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. Fire Chief.
This is no business of yours. Please keep outsiders out of our family arguments.
My dear, this is not so serious. The fire chief is an old friend of the family. His mother courted me, and I knew his father. He asked me to give him my daughter in marriage if ever I had one, and he died. Waiting.
That's neither his fault nor yours.
Well, what was it about?
My husband was claiming
No, it was you who was
Yes,
playing.
it was she.
No, it was he.
Now, don't get excited. Mrs. Smith, go on.
Well, it is hard for me to tell you, but the fireman is also a confessor, so...
Well then.
Right. My husband was claiming that whenever the doorbell rings, there is always someone there.
It is plausible.
But I was claiming that whenever the doorbell rings, there is never anyone there.
It might seem strange.
But it has not been proved by theoretical demonstration, but by fact.
That's false, since the fire chief is here. He rang the bell, I opened the door, and there he was.
When?
But just now.
But that was only the 4th time that there was someone there. And everyone knows it is only the first 3 times that count.
Yes, everyone knows it's only the first 3 times that count.
When I rang the door and saw you, was it really you who had rung the bell?
Yes, that was I.
You were at the door, and you rang in order to be admitted.
I do not deny it.
You see, I was right. When you hear the doorbell ring, that means someone rang it. You certainly cannot say that the fire chief is not a someone.
Certainly not. I repeat to you that I was speaking of only the first 3 times, since the 4th time does not count.
And when the doorbell rang the first time, was it you?
No, that was not I.
You see the doorbell ring, and there was nobody there.
Perhaps it was someone else.
Were you standing at the door for a long time?
Only 3/4 of an hour.
And you saw no one?
No one, I'm sure of that.
Did you hear the doorbell ring when it rang a second time?
Yes, and that wasn't I either, and still no one was there.
Victory! I was right!
Not so fast! And what were you doing at the door?
Oh, I was standing, thinking of many things.
But the 3rd time, it was not you who rang.
Yes, that was I.
But when the door was opened, nobody was inside.
I did it myself as a joke.
Do not joke, Mr. Fire Chief. This business is all too sad.
In short, we still do not know if whether one hears the doorbell ringing, there is someone at the door or not.
Never anyone.
Always someone.
I'm going to reconcile you. Sometimes when the doorbell rings, someone is there. Other times there's no one.
This seems logical to me.
I think so too.
Life is simple, really. Well, go on, kiss each other.
We just kissed each other a little while ago.
They will kiss each other tomorrow. They have plenty of time.
Mr. Fire Chief, since you have helped us settle this, please take off your helmet and have a seat.
Well, I don't know whether I have the time. I should like to remove my helmet, but I haven't any time to sit down. Well, I regret to admit that I have come to see you for some other reason.
What can we do for you, Mr. Fire Chief?
Well, I beg you to excuse my indiscretion, but you don't mind in front of them.
Say whatever you'd like.
We're old friends.
Speak.
That's everything.
Speak.
Well, is there a fire here?
Why'd you ask us that?
Well, pardon me, but I have orders to extinguish all the fires throughout the city.
Oh.
Yes, all.
I don't think so. Do you want me to go and check?
There can't be one here. There's no smell of anything burning.
Nothing at all. Not even a little fire in the chimney. Nothing burning in the attic or the cellar. Not even a little fire just starting.
I regret to inform you that it appears we do not have anything here at the moment. I promise I will notify you when we do have something.
Please do. It would be a great help. And nothing burning at your house either.
No, unfortunately.
Things aren't going well just now.
Very poorly. There's been almost nothing, a few trifles, a chimney, a barn. Nothing important. Because it doesn't bring much in, the profits on output are very meager.
Well, times are bad. That's true all over. It's the same this year with business and agriculture as it is with fires. Nothing is prospering.
No wheat, no fire.
No floods either!
But there is some sugar.
That's because it is important.
Mr. Fire Chief, since you are not too pressed, stay a little while longer. You'd be doing us a favor.
Well, shall I tell you some stories?
Oh, by all means, how charming of you.
Yes, some stories, hurrah! And what's even more interesting is the fact that firemen's stories are all true, and they're based on experience.
I speak the truth, nothing but the truth.
That's right. Truth never comes from books, only life.
Begin.
Begin.
Be quiet. He's beginning.
Pardon me. I don't like the way you're looking at me. You know that I'm shy.
Isn't he charming?
Well, I'm going to try to begin anyhow, but promise me that you won't listen.
But if we don't listen, how will we hear you?
I didn't think of that.
I told you he's just a boy.
Oh, the sweet child.
Chin up.
The Dog and the Cow. An experimental fable. Once upon a time, another cow asked another dog, "Excuse me, but it seems to me that you have swallowed your trunk." "Pardon me," replied the dog, "it is because I thought I was an elephant."
What is the moral?
That is for you to discover.
He's right.
Tell us another.
There once was a calf who had eaten too much ground glass. As a result, he was obliged to get married, of course. The calf brought forth a cow into the world. But because the calf was male, the cow could not call him Mama. Nor could she call him Papa, because the calf was too little. The calf was then obliged to get married, and the registry office carried out all the details a la mode.
On the mode.com.
Like tribes.
You've heard that one before.
It was all in the paper.
Yes, it happened not too far from our house.
I'll tell you one. The Snake and the Fox. Once upon a time, a snake came up to a fox and said, "It seems to me that I know you." The fox replied, "Me too." "Then," said the snake, "give me some money." "A fox doesn't give money," replied the tricky animal, who, in order to escape, jumped down into a deep ravine full of strawberries and chicken honey. But the snake was there, waiting for him with a Mephistophelian laugh. The fox pulled out his knife, shouting, "I'm going to teach you how to live." Then he took to flight, turning his back. But he had no luck. The snake was quicker. With a well-chosen blow of his fist, he struck the fox in the middle of his forehead, which broke into 1,000 pieces, while he cried, "No, no, 4 times no, I'm not your daughter."
It's interesting.
It's not bad.
My congratulations.
It's not so good. Besides, I've heard that one before. It's terrible.
But it's not even true.
It is your time, dear lady.
I only know one. I shall tell it to you. It's called The Bouquet.
My wife has always been romantic.
She's a true English woman.
Here it is. Once upon a time, a fiancé gave a bouquet of flowers to his fiancée, who said thanks, but before she could say thanks, he took the flowers back to teach her a good lesson. He took them back and said, I take them back. He said thanks and went off in all directions.
Isn't that charming?
You have a wife, Mr. Smith, of whom all the world is jealous.
It's true. My wife is intelligence personified. She's even more intelligent than I. In any case, she's, much more feminine. Everyone says so.
Let's hear another, Mr. Fire Chief.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'll have the time.
Tell us one anyway.
I'm too tired.
Please do us a favor.
I beg of you.
No.
You have a heart of ice. We're sitting on hot coals.
I implore you!
Righto.
He agrees. He's going to bore us again.
Yes, let's hear another, Mr. Fire Chief. We all want to hear.
Well, I don't know whether I'll have the time. I am on official business. It depends on what time it is.
Oh, we do not have the time here.
But the clock.
It runs badly. It is contradictory and always indicates the opposite of what the hour really is.
Madame? Sir?
What are you doing here?
What have you come in here for?
Madame and Sir will excuse me, and these ladies and gentlemen too. I would like to tell you a story myself.
What is she saying?
I believe our friend's maid has gone crazy. She wants to tell us a story.
Why are you butting in?
This is really uncalled for, Mary.
Who does she think she is? Oh.
And you?
Incredible. Here.
What does this all mean?
You know each other.
And how?
I'm so glad to see you again. At last.
Oh! This is too much. Here in our home in the suburbs of London.
That is not proper!
It was she who extinguished my first fires.
I'm your little fire hose.
If that is the case, these emotions are quite understandable, human, honorable.
All that is human is honorable.
Even so, I do not like it here, among us.
She's not been properly brought
Oh,
up.
you have too many prejudices.
I think is that a maid. Even though it's none of my business. He's never anything but a maid.
Even if she does make a rather good detective.
All the same, I could perhaps recite a little poem for you.
My little Mary, you are
Frightfully obstinate.
I'm going to recite a poem then. Is that agreed? It is a poem entitled The Fire, in honor of the fire chief. The fire. The polypoids were burning in the wood. A stone caught fire. The castle caught fire. The forest caught fire. The men caught fire. The women caught fire. The birds caught fire. The fish caught fire. The water caught fire. The sky caught fire. The ashes caught fire. The fire caught fire. Everything caught fire!
That sent chills up my spine.
And yet there's a certain warmth in those lines.
I thought it was marvelous.
all the same.
You're exaggerating.
Now, hold on, just a minute. This is all very subjective.
What shall it be, a little chimney fire?
No, not even that. A little haystack and some parchment.
Well, we're sorry to see you go.
You have been very entertaining.
Thanks to you, we have passed a truly Cartesian quarter of an hour.
Speaking of that, the BALD soprano.
She always wears her hair in the same hairstyle.
Right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck. And a good fire.
Let us hope so. For all of us.
I can buy a pocket knife for your brother, but you can't buy Ireland for your grandfather.
One walks on his feet, but only heats with electricity or coal.
He who sells an ox today will have an egg tomorrow.
In real life, one must look out the window.
One can sit on a chair, but the chair doesn't have any.
One must always think of everything.
Ceiling is above. The floor is
When I
below.
say yes, it is only a manner of
Take a circle, caress it, and it will turn vicious.
Schoolmaster teaches his pupils to read, but the cat suckles her young when they
It
are
was
small.
the cow that gave us tail.
When I'm in the country, I love the solitude and the
You are
quiet.
not old enough yet for that.
Benjamin Franklin was right. You are more nervous than he.
What are the 7 days of the week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Edward is a clerk. His sister Nancy is a typist, and his brother William a shop assistant.
An odd family.
I prefer a bird in the bush to a sparrow in the barrel.
Rather a steak in a chalet than gristle in a
An
castle.
Englishman's home is truly his
I
castle.
do not know enough Spanish to make myself understood.
I'll give you my mother-in-law's slippers if you give me your husband's
Looking
coffee!
for a monophysite priest to marry to our maid.
Bread is a staff, whereas bread is also a staff, and an oak springs from an oak every morning.
My uncle lives in the countryside, but that
Cheese
is not
for
a forbid wife's
scratching, the
business.
cat is for the rat, and paper is for writing.
The car goes fast, but the cook beats batter
Don't
better.
be turkeys, rather kiss the conspirator.
Charity begins at
I'm
home.
waiting for the
One
aqueduct
can
at my
prove that
window.
social progress is definitely better with sugar.
To hell with
One
politics.
does not polish spectacles with
But
black
with money
wax.
one can buy
I would
anything.
rather kill a rabbit and sing in the garden.
Cockatoos, 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 Dogs have fleas, dogs have fleas.
Justice!
Casper,
I
you
would
and
rather
Casper.
lay an egg in a box than go and steal an ox.
Let me gnash my teeth!
Crocodile!
Let us all slap Ulysses.
I'm going to live in my cabana or my cacao tree.
Cacao farms don't yield coconuts, they yield cocoa. Cacao trees on cacao farms don't yield coconut, they yield cocoa. Cacao trees on cacao
Lice
farms
have
don't
lice,
yield coconuts,
lice have
they
a
yield
lice.
Rouge my boots!
Smooch the broom.
Groom the goose. Don't goose the groom.
Goose, groom your
The bridegroom. Groom the
Seducer,
bridegroom.
seduce.
tooth!
I've been goosed.
The tooth stoops on my cartoon!
Who'd stoop to blame? I never claimed to stoop.
Robert
Browning.
Kipling.
Robert Kipling.
Brownie.
Gobble, silly gobble!
Marietta, spot the ball.
Dirty Christmas.
Scope's got no horoscope. The horoscope's bespoke.
Balzac!
Bazaar. Boards. Brasiers.
A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U,
Stage to surge, stage to stage. It's
Not
that.
Way.
It's
oh,
Here. It's not that way. It's over 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 here. It's not that way.
there. It's 9 o'clock. We've drunk the soup and eaten the fish and chips and the English salad. The children have all drunk English water. We've eaten very well this evening. That's because we live in the suburbs of London and because our name is Smith.